Hi, I'm Craig Andrea. I'm the owner, operator, cashier, janitor, yeah, all of it of OmniSource Games. So I was inspired by the community as a player. And again, I would go around different stores, competing with my own decks, collecting cards, as a TCG player would do. And so it was on my mind, basically probably 2 to 3 years into I would say my TCG career, which again isn't anything serious, but we're just putting a time frame to it. So, and I would actually ask different owners like, hey, XYZ, that, and of course any owner's not going to give up their secret sauce, so I respected that. So, December 27th of 2023, I decided to call the landlord of where we are now and wanted to sign a lease. We made an agreement, and January 1st, I opened these doors to start just kind of rearranging how I wanted this place to look, and we're still doing that, but yeah, we started then, and we opened to the public on February 10th of that year. All right, so we have mainly a lot of TCG products. So TCG is trading card games, for anybody that doesn't know that. But yeah, mainly it's Magic, then it's One Piece. We also support a little bit of Lorcana and Pokemon. We're trying to support more Pokemon given the current craze of it this year. Also the accessories for all those. We have board games. We have like booths to rent for areas for you to come with your friends or your families. Also a back room with TVs and video games. Also like paints for tabletop players. So we try to do as much as we can, but also stay on, keep balance with everything that we got going on. So we got big collectors coming in, whether they're trying to sell stuff or buy stuff. Again, as a new store, they come in thinking, just if you don't do your research, we don't have all the big stuff here anyway. So local community is we are just building our own. Again, I've had a few of my own play groups that once I opened, they supported. So they've been here, and then other players from other areas, or again, new players just in general. Definitely, Google game stores. They come by and they see what we have to offer, and they definitely enjoy it. Also, just as far as the local town, that's another thing that is good, because it's a small town, but I think we are trying to offer as much as possible for them, and I think that they see that. So I used to personally play Magic a lot. Now that I run the store, I don't have as much time. But again, I try to sneak in a few games. And for me, when it comes to Magic, I'm an artificer, so I love artifacts. I love to put things together and make them work together, that's what artifacts do. Allow you to build a puzzle and put it together within the game itself, which I think is really cool. So that's something that I like doing. So yeah, I'm an artificer, I guess. OmniSource Games is just a vibe, honestly. That's what we want. We want people to come in here, just look around and not really and feel like they want to be here. And that starts with the players, and they understand that, the people that are in here exactly for that. And it's very important because, again, it's the gaming community is kind of its own niche. We're trying to break those barriers down, and get people in here to understand that, and that's where I think truly is a place of comfort, open-mindedness, and really being all-inclusive. All right, where to find OmniSource Games is here, 875 State Road, Westport, Mass. Zip code 02790. If you really needed that, you can find it on Google as well. We're also on Facebook, very active on Facebook. Also Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, which again, we're trying to, spread out as much and reach as many people as we can. But yeah, we're mostly, I would say, just to be honest, is Facebook is where we're going to be the most active, and then Instagram, and then just again, we do have a website, www.omnisourcegames.com. And again, that's still being built out, but I mean, for the most part, you can kind of tell what's going on for right now.
My name's Tennille Langdon, and I am co-owner of Vintage Vault Sports Cards, Collectibles, and Antiques with my husband, Chris. I did not grow up here. My husband and I have been in town for, this is our 10th year living here, and almost 2 years having a business here. We sell a little bit of everything from turn of the century antiques and collectibles to modern day collectibles. So a little bit of everything. Vintage sports cards, modern sports cards, Funko Pops, Loungefly, Disney, small antiques. Pretty much anything that you can imagine that anybody would want to collect. I would say, recent memory, the strangest collectible. I think it's behind me. It's original Mickey Mouse costume from Disney World, and it's creepy. It is super creepy. And we had a Buzz Lightyear one too, which even though Buzz Lightyear is a more recent character, the original costumes that were worn in the theme parks were just like super like outrageously scary for the kids. And a lot of kids would like cry because, you know, was it what they saw in the animation on TV? Me personally, those are the items I still have at home. So I have a lot of turn of the century tin toys. I would not sell those. Those are, you know, one of a kind items that you come across and you're collecting and you're hunting that you don't find. And I look for pristine condition. So I have a lot of those types of toys in my personal collection. In the store, everything's for sale. So to be careful what we put in the store, because once it's here, we've made the decision that it's ready to pass on to somebody else. That would be a 1950s Mickey Mouse Lionel train set, and I got an offer of $10,000 for that. So you have to keep that in mind, like when you bought it versus now, things appreciate. Sometimes they depreciate as well. So it's like the stock market, things go up and down, and you got to know when to buy, when to sell. That's a great question. So we have a lot of resources. So a lot of it is institutional knowledge that we have ourselves just from being in the business for so long. But we also use the auction market, the online market. We combined about 8 to 10 different sources and use the retail sales for the last 6 to 12 months and take the average of that. So we like to price our items very reasonable too. We're not a store that's we're not trying to get rich off of this. This is our hobby and we love it. One thing I guess I'll say is we're really big. I did mention we live in town and we wanted to be in town. We're huge on giving back to the community. So every month we try to do a fundraiser and give back to something local in the community. So things we've done in the past where we did a comic book drive where we sold comic books for, we gave a free comic book to every kid that came in to promote reading and get kids used to comic books, because a lot of kids don't even know what comic books are. And then if you wanted to purchase additional comic books, they were $1 each. We had like a certain section you could pull from. All that money was sent to the elementary school to help with their new playground that they're trying to raise. Great question. I have 3 kids, twin boys and a little girl. One of my boys is interested. The other 2 would sell everything at a yard sale for $25. So at least we have one that's got the bug. The other one, He likes to sell stuff and make money, but he's not big into going out and hunting and picking the treasures and bringing them back, so. Oh, I hope it's bigger and better. So a little backstory. So we've been open 18 months, but we started in a small spot around the corner on Thatcher's Row, which is literally just around the corner, like maybe 50 steps. And when we were looking, we wanted to be in the town we lived in, be part of the community, and be downtown. So there weren't a lot of choices at that time. So we're like, oh, we'll start here, see what happens. Within 5 months, we outgrew the space. It was a hit. We just absolutely loved what we were doing. The customers were awesome. The community was awesome. This spot was already occupied, but they moved out and it's the same landlord, so she offered us this spot. So within 6 months, we were over here in a space that's 5 times as big as the other space. And we've already said we'd like to be bigger. So if there more space opens up in this plaza, hopefully we can grab it.
My name is Maxwell Wood, and my position is the owner of Krabby Coffee. Onsite Village was honestly always my favorite place growing up. I never lived here, but we would visit every summer. And it was like right by my birthday, so it really just became my favorite spot. And I visited, I guess just this summer and saw the opportunity. We sell out pretty much every day. We make more on the weekends, we still sell out. I came out of college and I really couldn't find a job, but I always wanted to be a chef. I didn't really think it would kind of be the move right out of college, but it was really the only thing I had left, so I just kind of went for it. I have a lot of memories here. When I was like 7, there's pictures down of me on Onset Beach flexing, like, I don't know, being silly or smoking candy cigarettes down by Mark Anthony's. I didn't grow up here, but I grew up here. We try to use all the ingredients from like ethically sourced places. Even if they're corporations, they're going to be like B corporations, you know, ethical and good to their employees. But the way that we differ from New York bagels is we use maple syrup instead of the malt syrup. We use organic honey. We hand roll them instead of putting them through a machine, so that's why there's less. Step 1 of the bagel process is obviously mixing. We're throwing all the ingredients in the bowl and we're just letting the mixer do work for like 10 minutes. And the way we check when it's done is if it's taken all the ingredients off the side of the bowl, but it won't stick. And you take it out, and then you're going to use the window method, stretch it really thin. If it breaks or you can't see through it, it's not good enough. You put it back in the dough and you restructure it. Restructure the gluten so that it obviously passes the window test. Right, then you're going to put it in a bowl, let it sit. Then when it's doubled its volume, start hand rolling them into about a 6-inch snake. Wrap it around your hand. Twist it, put it back down, flour the bottom, and then we walk back in at about 4:30 in the morning and we start boiling the water. Drop the bagels in. It takes about an hour and a half. And then we're baking them 30 minutes at 450. And then they come out perfect. Coffee is traded as a commodity, and it really puts a lot of hardship on the farmers like around the world. And even like a label like organic is actually just USDA organic. So you have to go through just the US regulations just to get that and pay like a bunch of money just for a label that says organic, even if you're practicing the same way. So basically there's just a lot of stress on the farmers, and there's even some like kind of slave labor practices involved, and I really don't want to take any part in that. We get our coffee from Speedwell Coffee in Plymouth. They roast it, it's ethically sourced, all from co-ops. It's honestly the best coffee in the area. I think, especially right now, we're really only pulling in locals. We're really focusing on customer service, having a conversation with people. Starbucks obviously is like the biggest player in the game, and they've really kind of gone away from customer service, so I'm here to take advantage of that. There's a couple paths, you know. I guess it depends on how much success we have. I would love to, you know, become more ethical McDonald's or Starbucks, you know, but I don't really know if that's really that plausible. Honestly, I just want it to be really community focused and I guess that's exactly that.
Hi, Amanda Santo, and welcome to the History Room, Antique and Piano Center in Southeastern Mass.
So bright, so green, so wild, so free.
I've lived in Easton for, I think it's like 45 years, 44 years, and the business has been here about 39 years. Started out as a music school and store, kind of streamlined this particular location in this business to music plus our personal affectation. My husband John is a piano restoration specialist and tuner, so I tend to gravitate toward buying vintage pianos that are wonderful and have a story behind them, and then he restores them and we sell them and rehome them. And we also sell regular pianos from time to time as well as space will allow. We have kind of strange retail hours to accommodate the lesson schedule that I keep here as I teach piano and voice. And my husband John also is a very talented drummer, and he teaches drums. So we kind of still have the music thing going. I write contemporary Christian and Christian rock, and Christian pop ballads, power ballads, certain themes. Like if something happens, make a little video and you put it on, it gives people comfort.
Boston proud, Boston warm, glory bound.
I had some tragedies and I started writing about it, and then I wrote for other people. I have a whole album of songs I wrote for people who were struggling with cancer, or they lost a loved one early, or lost a child, and I put those on one album. And people still come in to pick up certain albums because they might have had the similar experience and they heard that that song is comforting. I have 6 albums out, and I'm on one album, Catholic Artists for the Millennium. The Year of Hope album, which is 25 years ago, that was chosen by Pope John Paul II. I got a call from the Vatican, and they picked that title track for the theme of one of the Vatican events. They stuck me between Aretha Franklin and Andrea Bocelli, and then I was the nobody in between. Recently, I was in the Rolling Stone Songwriters thing, and I made the semifinals and top for contemporary Christian rock. I was very fortunate to be young when Elton John came out, Billy Joel. I was weaned off on Beatles, and then when you play good songs from good lyricists, I think it kind of inspires you to respond that way to things that happen in your life. As far as sales of antiques here, LPs, vinyl is back, and so we do sell a fair amount of vinyl. So we have 2 record rooms. In addition to the pianos, when I go into the home to purchase a piano, the people are usually moving, and we're the first call, so I may buy collections of smaller items. We'll ask, is there anything you will be selling? And I might buy a bundle of one thing. So it's kind of cool because you don't know what you might acquire. Some people that you wouldn't expect collect the most funky things. So you just never know what you're going to see, and I think that makes this business kind of fun. And I learn a lot from my customers who collect things, because you can't know everything about everything. Historical books, vintage jewelry. I love vintage costume jewelry, especially mid-century. Signed items, and a lot of military memorabilia seems to be what people are gravitating to right now. My favorite antique is, as you could maybe see behind me, is two signed pictures of the kissing sailor, George Mendonça of Rhode Island, who we were grateful enough to have him come here and give a lecture. So that was probably our most sentimental experience and person we've had here. Just a love for it and to keep history alive. We both love history. We have a lot of history in our family, and we just gravitate to things that have a story behind them. So I don't think I'd want to be just selling something that was commercially made in quantity. The most coveted that I'm always searching for is Ernest Hemingway's Old Man and the Sea first edition, because they only did a short run of them because it was an instant sellout, and signed would be great because he signed very little. Having already done other things, and I never, as a musician, you can't retire till you keel over, or someone says, oh, you're terrible now. So I'll never retire.
Jeff Tundis. I'm the manager here at the Seekonk Time Capsule. Actually, I've been a fan of comic books since I was a little kid. My first job was actually under the table when I was 10 years old at a store in Cranston, Rhode Island back in like 1982. So it starts with just an appreciation of the culture and the product, you know, which was comic books, you know, especially superhero stuff, which is the dominant category. There's always something, and those are often referred to as grail pieces. It's just that thing that's just almost unattainable, like an original page of art from your favorite book, or an album that was super limited release, or something that's just hard to find, and you know, and often astronomically expensive, which also makes it a tough thing to acquire. Comic book stores are fairly supportive of each other. There's even like groups online with other dealers around the country, around the world, that you can converse with and share ideas and try to stay ahead of the changes. It was dispersed enough so that the people we'd be serving here wouldn't take away too much from other places. And in fact, one place that was close by was getting ready to close down. So it was kind of like the green light. We'll take it, you know, we'll take that spot. And this was an expansion of the main store that's in Cranston. So, you know, I wouldn't know if I'd call it a franchise at this point because it's just two of them. But I've been friends with the owner since we were in like high school. So when he was ready to open a store, I was available. So, you know, hit certain areas. We get Bristol, we get Newport, we get Providence, Pawtucket, all these different areas without really messing with other stores that are further out. And since I was already kind of familiar and comfortable with the area, you know, and we found a good deal on the buildings. I mean, a lot of this stuff comes from individuals that come in and sell stuff. Also, like I said, there's the head man involved, Robert, down at the Cranston store. He's been doing this for a long time. We started, you know, once you get a methodology, once you have a place where people can come and bring stuff to you, it's a flood. So you just have to get the business knowledge, which again isn't my forte, that's Rob's, but I know how to do the detail work and work with people and organize and things like that. So it's a good working relationship. You know. We have probably a wider array of product than a lot of places because you know, you can't really survive on one product line. You're a little too focused, and when you know, interests ebb and flow. You know, when the Marvel movies were really popular, they've dropped off now, but when they were at their peak, it did affect comic sales, and you can survive just selling comics. But during normal times, you need to differentiate. Like any business, you can't focus on one thing in particular. So we do comics. We also do a lot of vinyl LP sales, which came back like 20 years ago, and obviously it's still chugging along. I think vinyl now in mainstream stores is even outselling CDs because of the move away from those into streaming. Another cultural shift came after that and moved back to physical media, especially LPs. We also do a lot of video game stuff, which is all this stuff behind me. We dabble in toys. You know, right now Pokemon is crazy with the 30th anniversary. So you just gotta differentiate. I read a ton of comics, so I can also converse with people and try to play a longer game of trying to help them to cultivate their interest, so they're in it for a longer period of time than coming in on stuff without any kind of direction and burning out. Or even overspending. You know, we try to encourage people to like, hey, you know, if you're not enjoying it, stop buying it. I can recommend 100 other things that you might like better. So I try to cater to people's tastes and try to steer them in the direction where they'll be happier with their purchases and they'll be a longer term customer, where a lot of other places are just like, pay me and leave. I'm just not like that.